Good afternoon and welcome to Bulow Stadium on the campus of Cheverus High School. This is Thornton Academy Sports Live, the Regional Final Edition. I am Jeff Christenberry and I'm with the senior Tyler Catterett, and we're here in the Western Maine Class A Regional Final between the #1 Cheverus Sags and the #2 Golden Trojans. Really, Tyler, it's David versus Goliath today, even though Thornton Academy comes in at 9-1 and the second seed in the West. They're going against a team, Cheverus, who is 22-0 in their last 22 games, the defending state champions in Class A, and really coming as the big favorites. And I think probably if there was betting, which of course there isn't, probably be a 10 to 12 point favorite by most estimates. So really, Thornton Academy coming in with no pressure on them today. So Tyler, first, as we look at this team, Thornton Academy, while they definitely are the underdogs, they have probably the best player on the field in Andrew Libby. How important is it for him today to really get the ball and really play the best game of his career?
I think he is the most important part of this Thornton Academy team for a lot of different reasons. He's so versatile. You can use him in a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different schemes on offense. You really need to get the ball in his hands, whether it's on the Wildcat, running the ball, even, and I think more importantly than either of those two is receiving. He really needs to get his receiving game up in today's game, because that's going to be probably the difference maker between these two offenses if he has some big plays. So I think it's really important for them to get the ball in his hands, make sure they minimize his mistakes on both offense and defense, because he has had a couple slip-ups on defense, but then again, he does play a lot of snaps during the course of the game. He's on offense and defense most of the time throughout the whole game. It's really important to make sure you limit that and watch that, and just make sure that he really gets the ball as much as he can.
All right, for some more X's and O's, we're going to take a little break here. A little earlier, I talked to Michael Hoffer, the forecaster, who will be calling this game on the radio. So let's take a look at what Michael Hoffer had to say about this big matchup. All right, well, we're just a few hours from game time, and here with Michael Hoffer, the forecaster, who will be calling this game for MBR. So, Mike, just talk about, obviously, Cheverus comes in as a big favorite of this game, and Thornton Academy, had a tough schedule this year, but no one's given them a chance today. So how do you think they're coming into this game with really no pressure on them at all?
Yeah, I think they're actually fortunate not having any pressure, and they have been tested this year, and they really should get commended for that, because they played a much tougher schedule this year. They won almost all of their tough games. I think it got them battle tested for the playoffs, and obviously they were able to survive a very tough South Portland team last week. This is really kind of house money for them. Cheverus is a huge favorite. They're the defending champs. They've won 22 games in a row. They're coming off just an enormous playoff win over Deering, much more emphatic than anyone expected. So I think if you're Thornton Academy, you come in, you have fun, maybe you throw caution to the wind a little bit, mix it up, maybe throw in a few trick plays. I think what's imperative for them is to stay close in the first half. If you're close at halftime, you've got a great shot. Cheverus has delivered a knockout blow in almost all of their games in the first quarter, but if Thornton Academy can hang tough for a while, anything's possible.
Now, for someone who hasn't seen, and all these Thornton Academy fans, most of them haven't seen the Cheverus team, you see the scores, you hear about them. What is it about them that we're going to see today that makes them so tough?
Well, I think what it is it doesn't matter who's in there. I mean, it really is a team effort. You saw last year they had a great team. They graduated the Fitzpatrick Trophy winner and Peter Gwillem. They graduated their big fullback, Evan Jendrasko, Zach Dulac, their big stud on the line. And they've put players in those spots, and they're every bit as good as last year. You can argue they're better than last year. And going into the playoffs, they lose Spencer Cook, their star tailback, the hero of last year's state game. Donald Goodrich steps in. They haven't missed a beat. They're still winning emphatically. So, I mean, this is a team, they are 100% believing in what Coach Wolfgram tells them to do, how he directs them, and they don't just espouse that this is about the team. They really believe it, and you just see they're fundamentally strong. They don't make a lot of mistakes, and if the other team makes any kind of mistake, it's 6 points the other way, and it's so tough to counter when you're playing a team that doesn't take a lot of penalties and doesn't turn the ball over.
Now, talking about Spencer Cook, obviously won't play today, and though they haven't missed a beat, I mean, eventually it catches up. When you lose a player of his stature, what do you think Thornton Academy has to do, to key on that? Obviously Goodrich has come in and played pretty well, but what is the difference between those two running backs that you may see against a really good defense like TA's?
Well, I think really the only difference is Donald Goodrich isn't a household name at this point. The first playoff game, he returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown, scored 3 others on the ground. He's a very good athlete, and even more so than Cook on defense, he disrupts plays like no one else. He had 4 sacks in 2 series against Deering in the regular season finale. He forced a turnover last week. Just a great two-way player. And another aspect of Cheverus that doesn't really get talked about because they don't do it much is the pass game. Because if they have to throw the ball, they can. Cam Olson throws a nice ball. He's also capable of running it if he's under pressure. Louis DeStasio is just one of these great athletes in the state. And they don't throw to him that often. He could get 12 catches a game if they decided to go that way. The few times they throw, it's usually successful. It's often for a long gainer. So you obviously have to come in to key on the run when you play Cheverus, but you have have to expect the pass too, because they can do a little bit of everything really well.
And looking at the coaching matchup, you have obviously John Wolfgram. I mean, his reputation speaks for itself. Well, yeah, as you said, won 22 straight games. Kevin Kiesel on the other side. And what do you think a coach like Coach Kiesel's going into? You know, seeing the film, seeing that they're good at pretty much every position. I mean, obviously you espouse the notion of no pressure for the players, but when they're sitting in the coach's room, what do you think they have to do, game plan wise, to really give it a shot and keep it close early in the game?
TA, they don't necessarily have a quick strike offense either. So if they can have some long drives, any game you want to get ahead early, obviously. You just can't let Cheverus come down off the opening kickoff and go up 7-0. It's going to be really tough to answer that. I think if you want to control the ball, and it just comes down to all the cliches. You can't turn it over. You can't take bad penalties. You can't make mistakes in the special teams, which are so often the difference in playoff games. And I think more than anything else, these kids are here for a reason. They've won 9 games. They've beaten some very good teams. They deserve to be in this Western A final. And I would take it's the us against the world mentality and say, all right, guys, this is your chance to go out and prove everybody wrong. Go do it.
Right. It's always good to compare teams. Like, you know, how many TA players would start in Cheverus? And I think for one player that definitely would is Andrew Libby. I mean, he's one of the most dynamic players in the state. Somebody that really Cheverus hasn't really seen too many of him. I mean, just because there are not many of him. What do you think Thornton Academy has to do? They've run a lot of Wildcat in the last couple of weeks, obviously, really trying to get him involved, get his hands on the ball. He does play both ways. He does punt. He plays a lot of special teams. He has not shown any fatigue whatsoever, which is incredible. But how important is it for get his hands on the ball? And, you know, if you lose 35-7, but he gets 20 touches, and you really, you know, you can't really shake your head at the end of the day.
No, I think you have to put the ball in the hands of your best players, and you have to mix it up a little bit. Maybe they do an end around, maybe they do a flea flicker. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can try. I don't think much of anything is going to catch Cheverus off guard, but you have to try nonetheless. And you're not just going to run the ball into the line 20-25 times. And if you do find something that does work, I'm sure they've analyzed the films for hours and hours looking for it. And listen, this is a high school football team. Cheverus is awesome, but they're not invincible. And if Thornton Academy can figure out where to attack and get off to a good start, I think they can hang around.
Yeah, and last X's and O's question, at least, talking about the turf. I mean, Thornton Academy with turf. Yep. You know, they played road games at Deering, at Portland. They haven't played many games. They haven't played a grass game in a couple of months, actually, except for a rain game against Noble and then early in the season against South Portland, which they lost. Right. How do you think that's going to play? Obviously, they blow-dry the field. We talked to Gary Hoyt earlier, the AD here at Cheverus. It's still a little squishy when you walk on it, especially in the middle of the field. What do you think? I mean, Thornton Academy's been still had to practice a little bit on their turf this week. So how do you think that's going to be, especially early in the game, the defensive linemen getting their footing?
Well, that's a big thing. It really depends on the turf itself. They've been playing football on grass for over a century, so I think you adapt. I think if you're a grass team trying to adapt to turf, it might be tougher to match the speed of the turf team. I think the turf team coming to grass, I think they'll be fine. I don't think that's going to be a big aspect of the game.
Yeah, and so why don't you give us your prediction for this game?
I think Cheverus prevails. I really think Thornton Academy will come out and play well, keep it close for a while, but from what I've seen from Cheverus, this team is just on a mission, and they're going to get back to the state game, and I'm sure they think they're going to win it all again.
All right, appreciate it, Michael Hoffer. All right, so we'll be right back. We're going to have the rest of the pregame show. This is Thornton Academy Sports Live. So Tyler, Michael Hoffer, I think you hit the nail right on the head. I mean, Thornton Academy, no pressure on them whatsoever today. If they go out and lose 35-0, unlikely, but if they do, no one's really gonna harm them because you know Cheverus is that good at every position. We mentioned now Spencer Cook, the star running back, probably Fitzpatrick Award winner. If he didn't get hurt, he still may win it. How big is that, do you think, morally? I mean, emotionally, I meant, because they've gotten over it the last couple of weeks. But as we said with Michael Hoffer, he's still a great player and he's still not in your lineup. So obviously, if Andrew Libby went out or Nick Kennedy for Thornton, it'd be a big effect. So how can Thornton Academy use that to its advantage emotionally, especially if Cheverus gets down, which they haven't been down much this year?
I think you're really going to play on that, and especially if TA gets ahead in this game, they're really going to make sure they make a statement to this Cheverus team and really show them that missing Spencer Cook is going to be a big problem for them in today's game. And really, you can make it hurt because you can bring out different different defensive schemes. You can also have different formations that maybe cater to the fact that he's not in the lineup right now. And I think that's really important that he's not here. I mean, granted, this Cheverus team is really good with or without Cook, but having him out of the game certainly helps TA, even if it's just a little bit. And, you know, eventually, I think I was talking to one of the fans in the stands, actually, and eventually this Cheverus team is 22-0. They've got to lose eventually, and I think that if TA is looking for a perfect situation right now to upset this Cheverus team, I think having Spencer Cook out of the lineup today is really crucial for them.
All right, so looking at Cheverus also, physicality. I think one of the things I've been talking to some of the TA coaches this week, they really want to hit these guys in the mouth. I mean, if you look at it, they start 9 players both ways. And also, the team that gave them the most trouble physically was Portland. In the second last game of the season, Portland actually led Cheverus for a little bit of that game. did end up losing by 14, but Thornton Academy really needs to come out. Guys like Mark Wessenault, Bobby Beegan, what do those guys have to do to really hit them early and let them know that Thornton Academy is not going away easily today?
I think that's very important for this Thornton Academy team, especially because Cheverus is one of those teams, I think if you challenge them a little bit, because they've had such an easy run this season, if you challenge them a little bit, and I think Michael Hoffer said early on in the game, the first half, you challenge them, you make a little bit of a statement, especially with some of those hard hits, really playing a physical game, you might be able to get in their heads a little bit and you have them thinking about what they're doing on offense, what they're doing on defense, and you might be able to outplay them on certain plays, and that can really make a difference in a game like this where you're talking the ramifications or you're going to the championship. So I think it's really important for TA to come out. You got guys like Mark and guys like Luke, and they're really hitting hard and making a statement. As I think that's key for Thornton Academy. I've said it a couple times. Make a statement, be physical, have some good plays, and just try to minimize your mistakes. You really got to show them that you're here to play and you're here to win this game.
I think mistakes are something we've talked about all year with this Trojans team. Limiting, as he said, cliches, you can't turn the ball over.
Right.
You can't have drive-killing penalties, but for Thornton Academy, really, I think defensively comes down to the secondary. I really think the up front line can stick with Cheverus for a little bit.
Yeah.
If they get into the secondary, either passing or running, that's where the issues are going to be. We do have some good players, Josh Sear, Andrew Libby back there. They have been prone to giving up big plays, and especially looking at the turf they're playing on today, a little wet, a little soggy, that definitely will be in effect. So. Looking at defense, how much pressure is there on guys like Mark, the defensive line, and the linebackers to get some pressure on that Cheverus team? Because if not, guys like Goodrich, the running back that came in, they can throw it right over the top. There's so many weapons on the Cheverus team. So how important is that, again, how much pressure is on them, do you think?
I think it's crucial that Thornton Academy really has an all-around great defensive effort today, because you look at it, as much as this offense has been explosive at times, they have some good special teams players. The defense is the backbone of the Thornton Academy team. It's what has kept them in games all throughout the season. It really has helped them to that 9-1 record, and they really have been a very stable point on this team. They've been very consistent throughout the season. We have talked about some of the big plays they've let up, but I think if you have a really good defensive effort with the guys on the line being solid, stopping the run, and if that secondary can at least keep up with this Cheverus team for the first half, first couple of quarters, then I think you're in good shape. If they can't do that, I think that's when you're going to get into trouble. And we haven't really seen, Cheverus hasn't been down very much this season. You really haven't seen Thornton Academy down very much either. And when the few times that they have gone down or have had a close game, they have responded pretty negatively. They've gotten down on themselves. They've kind of collapsed. And I think it's very important for Thornton Academy not to do that if they get down in this game. And just like Michael said, stay with them throughout the entire first half.
Now, we were walking around in the locker room before this game, several hours before, still back at Thornton Academy, and I think we both remarked how loose Thornton Academy players seem, which is exactly how they're going to come in. Looking offensively, obviously, we talked about Andrew Libby a little bit. Eric Christensen, I think they've done a great job in the first two playoff games, limiting his potential for mistakes. And that's not to say he's error-prone, but he has had games where his inconsistencies have come through. Junior quarterback. Offensively, I think you're going to see a lot of Nick Kenny. I think you're going to see a lot of Wildcat getting Andrew Libby's hands. We've talked about the Wildcat all year. We saw a couple wrinkles last week against South Portland. Do you think we'll see a lot more this week?
I think you'll definitely see a lot more this week. The reason being is that Thornton Academy has nothing to lose in this game. This coaching staff realizes that. I think they understand that they need to maybe open up the playbook a little bit, mix in some diverse plays, some plays that you haven't seen yet to really stump this Cheverus defense and try and put some points on the board. That's really the only way I can see Thornton Academy putting up some good numbers and really staying in this game right now.
Yeah, I think you're going to see a lot of Wildcats. You're going to see some passes out of there. Open up the playbook. Again, we said, again, nothing to lose today. Come out here, try to play your best game, and I think mentality is a big thing. Talking to Michael Hoffer about the comparisons between the coaches. John Wolfgram, the picture of solidarity, consistency. It's won so many state titles with so many programs. Again, he's got his team ready to go, but Kevin Kiesel on the other side. This is his biggest game. Obviously, they were in the regional final a few years ago against Bonnie Eagle. Similar situation where Bonnie Eagle was a lower seed, but they were probably the better team on paper. And Thornton Academy in the slop. Thankfully, it's a nice day here today. So I think Coach Kevin Kiesel really has his work cut out for him and his other coaching staff. You don't want to second guess yourself, obviously. You want to make sure that you put out your best plays. So looking at let's just talk about the weather for a minute here. Obviously, you're a weatherman, so this really couldn't be much better. However, yesterday we did have a lot of rain. The athletic director here, Gary Hoyt, did say that they blow-dried the field this morning. It is a little soggy as we walk around on it, so what are we looking for weather today?
Well, I think the conditions overall, at least weather-wise at this point, are going to be really good. This afternoon temperatures in the upper 40s, close to 50. We're going to see a mix of sun and clouds. If you look up in the sky right now, it's actually, that really is what it is, a mix of sun and clouds. So in-game conditions are going to be pretty good. There's going to be a little bit of a breeze, which might play a factor if you throw the ball here and there. nothing too serious, but really it's the ground conditions from all that rain. We got between a half an inch and an inch of rain during the day on Thursday going into Friday, so 2 days ago. And we were walking around on the field, and it is dry in some areas, but there are some spots where it's still pretty mushy, still pretty wet, and that could play a factor, not only with the run game, but also passing. You know, when you go back to throw a pass, you're in the pocket, you're slipping around. It's not really noticeable, so I think what might happen is you might see some players take it for granted, and that, of course, is when mistakes can happen. So you just got to be a little bit cautious out there, but overall, for the fans at least, the conditions are going to be great today. It's going to be very nice.
Right, it is. It's a perfect day, and again, obviously Thornton Academy trying to make history, first time since 1988 going to the state championship game, which is pretty surprising considering the success this team has had over the last century. Now, from a student perspective, I mean, we see a lot of students here. If you don't know, the Cheverus is pretty much a hill. There's no stands here, so it's going to be very interesting once the game starts. But a big student section here for Thornton Academy today. And what have you noticed in the hallways? I mean, obviously football is kind of a king sport anyway. But to have this team go this far, obviously the unbelievable game against South Portland last week, which was heart-stopper for even the most apathetic sports fan. So what are the students saying, and how important this would be in your senior year to see a team, even if they go and they play Lawrence next week, what would it be like to see that?
It would be unbelievable, really. I think we've all been waiting for this, and you have to look at the basketball team. My freshman year, they won the state championship. Last year, the hockey team in that improbable run to the championship, they won. And it would just really cap off a great 4 years of sports here at Thornton Academy if this football team could even get to the championship game against Lawrence next week. So I think right now the atmosphere, the ambiance around the school is really hopeful, but I will tell you, it's actually kind of subdued. It wasn't really, not that it was totally quiet in the halls this week, but there wasn't a lot of chatter about it. I think everybody was just cautiously optimistic. You don't really want to, count your chickens before they hatch, that kind of stuff. You really are just trying to be balanced going into this game. So not only are the players being relaxed going into this game, I think a lot of the fans are too, and they are ready to cheer today. I can tell you that the support is really, they've come out in full force looking over there. I think we have more TA fans here right now than Cheverus fans. They're ready to support this team, and I think that if they can run to the championship, it would be really, really just a special season for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I guess it's about time. We got about 18 minutes of game time, so it's about time. Let's hear your prediction for this game.
Okay, well, this one's going to be a little more long-winded than any of my other ones this season, just because I got to give a little bit of, I know that a lot of the experts, I'm pretty sure looking at all the local papers, local news stations, I don't think I saw a single expert or media person pick TA to win this game. And that said, I think I'm going to break the mold this week. I am going to pick TA for two different reasons. One, I think that in order for TA to get to the championship, they're going to have to really open up that playbook. I think they're ready to do that. I think Coach Kevin Kiesel is prepared to do whatever it takes to win this game. He knows the pressure going into this and the fact that really, no matter what happens, his team is going to be okay coming out of this. So I think that they're going to have a lot of confidence going into this game and on the field, and I think that it's setting up to be the perfect storm here. You got Cook out for Cheverus. TA's got a lot of their star players firing on all cylinders. So I think they're going to be amped up going onto the field, and also, a little bit of hope on my part, hopefully, that as a senior that I see him go to the championship. But I am going to say 24-21 TA. I think they win it on a field goal at some point in the game, and hope for the best right now. That's all I got.
Sounds like a good prediction, but not so fast, my friend. I think Cheverus is too tough. I really think, I don't think it's going to be a blowout for whatever reason. I think Thornton Academy has the best player in the field, Andrew Libby, and if Thornton Academy plays perfect, they have a really good shot at winning. I really think this is by far the best team Cheverus has played all year as far as the matchup. I think on paper, Deering has a lot of great players on paper. A lot of other teams have great players on paper. This CA team, since the second week loss against South Portland, has grinded out They've grinded out victories against Wyndham. Obviously, last week speaks for itself. The defense came up when it needed. However, Cheverus is just so deep at every position. Coach John Wolfgram is as good as they come for high school coaches, probably in the entire country. I mean, let's be honest. I think Thornton Academy comes out, plays very well. If they keep it close early in the game, if we're looking at a 0-0 score midway through the second, Thornton Academy's in good shape. I just feel that Thornton Academy's a year away. I think we're going to be back here next year at Hill Stadium as the favorites against some other team. But this year, Cheverus is a little too tough. So I'm gonna go with a final of 28-21. I think Thornton Academy has a chance to win, but I just feel that Cheverus is
I think either way, I think either way you look at these teams and you just got to respect both of them. They're teams that I think Cheverus, you look at them, they won the championship last year. I think winning back-to-back championships in high school football is very, very tough. So you got to give them credit for that. And then of course TA, they were 1-1 after 2 weeks this season. I think everybody thought they might end up with a 4-4 record, and here they are playing in the Western Maine Class A finals. So you just got to give both these teams credit and best of luck to everybody playing today.
That's right. Let's hope TA plays with no pressure, and who knows, we can see a miracle here. Exactly. So, well, thank you very much for joining us on Thornton Academy Sports Live. We're going to send it up to Jim Toomey. We'll be back right here at halftime and post-game. So, Jim, take it away.
All right, thank you, Jeff Christenberry, on the pregame show. This is Jim Toomey alongside cameraman Jeff Scott as the sun breaks through the clouds here at Boyless Stadium on the campus of Cheverus High School in Portland. I'm sure Jeff's getting a good shot on the field. The captain's meeting at midfield. The 10-0 Cheverus Stags against the 9-1 Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. You see Baxter Boulevard, Back Bay, and the Portland skyline. So the weather has cooperated. Temperature probably around 47, 48 degrees with a light breeze. Cheverus coming in, as we said, 10-0, defeating South Portland 59-21. Gorham 35-0. Bon Eagle 42-19. Sanford 41-28. Scarborough 38-0. Cheverus Biddeford 56-0. Portland 21-7. Cheverus defeated Deering 14-0. Defeated Scarborough 35-7. In the playoff first round, defeated Deering 45-0. They're averaging 38.6 on the season while giving up only 6.2. Thornton Academy 9-1, defeated Bon Eagle 20-6. Lost to South Portland 20-16. Defeated Wyndham 7-0. Noble 42-14. Deering 28-21. Portland 14-12. Scarborough 28-14. Biddeford 34-0. First round of the playoffs defeated Wyndham 21-9. In the semifinals defeated South Portland in a classic game 20-15. The Trojans averaging 23 points a game while giving up 11.1. Players to watch for Cheverus will include quarterback Cam Olson, number 24. And right now, if the PA cooperates, we'll have the national anthem. All right, we're back. Had a little trouble with the PA. Nice rendition of the national anthem by a choral group from Cheverus. And we believe Thornton has won the toss and is deferred to the second half. So it'll be Thornton kicking off right to left on your screen. Again, the quarterback for Cheverus will be Cam Olson, 6'3", 198-pound senior. Their leading rusher, Spencer Cook, out with an injury. They have some capable backups. Brent Green, number 33, will be a key runner along with Don Goodrich, number 22. Wide receiver, number 19, Louis DeStachio, will be one to watch today. Western Maine Class A final from Cheverus High School on November 12th. Briggs kicks it. It's grabbed and almost lost by Cheverus. And finally going to be brought down about the 25-yard line. That was Goodrich on the return for the Cheverus Stags, defending state champions. Cam Olson, the quarterback, completing 57% of his passes this year, 878 yards, 11 touchdowns. Losing Spencer Cook, rushed over 1,000 yards. But again, Brent Green has come on to pick up 560 yards on the ground. Goodrich has picked up 271. Leading receiver Louis DeStachio, 18 receptions, 454 yards. That's 25 yards a catch. DeStachio has 6 touchdowns. So 1st and 10 for the Stags from their own 25-yard line. Olson, wearing number 24 as the quarterback, under center. He's going to run it towards us, trying to get around the offensive right side. Picks up a few. I see Tarbox on the tackle, John Remis. And I can see the PA system's going to have trouble the rest of the afternoon. It's going to be 2nd and 7 for the Stags. Everybody's sitting on the hill on this side, the home side. Actually, no bleachers here. But again, the weather has cooperated. 2nd and 7, Cheverus going left to right. Handoff for a first down. Looks like Brent Green on the carry. Pretty basic play off left tackle.
Brent Green is the ball carrier. Coverage on the play, tackle to Andrew Libby.
Andrew Libby getting credit for the tackle. 1st and 10 for Cheverus. John Wolfram, head coach, 6th year at Cheverus, but Has had successful teams at South Portland Gardner, also was an assistant at Bowdoin College. So one of the deans of high school coaches in Maine, John Wolfgram. Coach Kevin Kiesel, head coach of the Trojans in his 12th year. 1st and 10 Cheverus from the 37-yard line. Inside handoff. And good yardage again. Brent Green, junior, 5'9", 185 pounds. Olsen getting the play from Coach Wolfgram. Bobby Began getting credit for the tackle. 2nd and 1 for the Stags. DeStasio going to flank, top of the screen. He's dangerous. Kyle Forbes is going to have him. Inside handoff, nothing there. Connor McCrum shot the gap and got Don Goodrich in the backfield. And let's give credit to Connor McCrum as we've done the research from last week's game. He was the one that stopped Joey Tobias inside the 1-yard line as we reviewed the tape. And Kyle Forbes was in the area as well, but
tackle on the play to number.
Very hard to see as that game ended, but Connor McCrum, with help from Kyle Forbes, sort of made the way for Thornton to be playing here today. 3rd and a long one now. Tight formation. It's going to be a push out to Goodrich. Goodrich has the first down more. Goodrich going down the left sideline, and he's going to be all the way to about the 25-yard line. Goodrich got to that left sideline as we look across, went down the sideline. 162-pound junior, another Cheverus first down. Cheverus offensive line opening up some holes, and then Goodrich using his speed. That ball was carried from the 47 down to about the 29-yard line. Inside handoff, Green on the carry. I see 79 Mark Bosino in there, Dakota Tarbox 85 on the tackle. Still a gain of about 4 yards. No score, just went under 9 minutes to go. First period, November 12th from the campus of Cheverus High School. Western Maine Class A final. DeSaggio flanks top of the screen. Everybody else in tight. Olsen, first year as a starting quarterback. And breaking a tackle was Green. Finally brought down by Quinlan O'Brien and Chris Madden. Bobby Began in the area as well. Picked up a couple. Third and about 4 for the Cheverus Stags. Taking a lot of time getting this play in. Coach Wolfgram going to call a timeout. They were going to risking delay. So wisely, Cheverus calls timeout. 8:02 to go, first period, no score. Cheverus has taken the kickoff, picked up some first downs. This has gone all the way from their own 25 down to the 23 of Thornton as the wind picks up here. Cam Olsen, the senior quarterback, missed most of last season with an injury. Cheverus had Peter Gwillem, All-State quarterback last year, Fitzpatrick Trophy winner. So I'm sure Cam Olsen is well schooled and certainly has had an outstanding season, taking advantage of his opportunity. So certainly in 4-down territory, if Cheverus does not pick it up on 3rd down, they'll certainly go on 4th. DeStasio, the wide receiver, also an excellent place kicker. DeStasio has 3 field goals on the season and 43 extra points to go along with his 18 receptions and 6 touchdowns. DeStasio to the top of the screen, the bottom of the screen, Coley Walsh. in the spread formation. Olsen tries to run it. Picks up a couple. I'm not sure if he has the first down. Let's see. It's going to be close. I think it's going to be 4th and short for the Cheverus Stags. It's going to be 4th and about 1.5. Good crowd on hand from both schools. And the first big play of the game, so to speak. Again, the spread formation. Olsen wants to run, and let's see. I think he did not make it. Thornton has held. Thornton has held. As they went back-to-back quarterback keepers, and Thornton has taken over. We're quite a ways back from the field here, and not quite sure who made that tackle. 1st and 10 Trojans from their own 20-yard line, their first possession of the game. Eric Christensen, the quarterback. Alongside him, Nick Kenny. Andrew Libby will be in the backfield along with Dylan Morton. Handoff inside to Kenny and nothing there. And Cheverus continues to play a little bit after the whistle. Gain of about 1 for Nick Kenny. Kenny coming in with 816 yards rushing, averaging 4.5 a carry, 5 touchdowns. 2nd and 9 Trojans. Dakota Tarbox to the near side. Morton, Dylan Morton to the top of the screen. Pass to the flat, complete to Tarbox. And he's close to a first down. He may have it. Christensen to Tarbox. Tarbox has 21 catches on the season, 423 yards.
Number 16, Mike Flaherty.
Flaherty of Cheverus makes the tackle.
The Golden Trojans
Thornton with the first
on
down.
their own 33-yard line.
In motion is Libby. Christensen gonna throw it out to Libby. Libby goes around a block, and Libby has another Thornton first down.
Pass complete.
Libby had 19 catches coming in.
Andrew Libby, he stopped on the play by number 24, Cam Olsen.
Cam Olsen, the quarterback playing defense, has 6 interceptions. He made the tackle. They've inserted Louis DeStasio in the defensive backfield. The last game or two. The Trojans out to their own 44, 1st and 10. Again, Tarbox to the bottom of the screen. In motion is Libby. Handoff to Kenny. Kenny with a little daylight. Nick Kenny. Off the right side.
Carry on the play.
Tackled by Flaherty.
Jordan. He stopped.
And Jordan.
Second down and 2.
Tarbox now to the top of the screen. 2 wide receivers to the near side. Again, Thornton operating in the spread. We'll see when the Wildcat gets into it. Christensen, a quick pass on a slant intended for Tarbox.
For number 85, Dakota Tarbox.
On the defense was Mike Flaherty.
Coverage on the
It's going to be 3rd and about 2.
30. Third down and 2.
So a big 3rd down here for the Trojans. 5.5 minutes to go. First period, no score. This is the Wildcat. We see Christensen nearest to us, Andrew Libby in the Wildcat with Nick Kenny in motion. Libby is going to be short, I think.
Stop on the play to 36, Ryan Casal.
Ryan Casal made the stop. Decision time for Coach Kevin Kiesel. And it looks like the punting team is coming in. 4th and 1. Andrew Libby in punt formation. A little breeze at his back, picking up from time to time.
To punt. 8 for Cheverus, 14 Fitzpatrick, and 19 Louis.
Libby gets it away. And a pretty good punt. Gets a Thornton roll. Josh Sear down there and knocks it out of bounds around the 1 yard line. Hustling Josh Sear got down and be sure to not get into the end zone. So Cheverus deep in their own territory, to say the least.
On the 1 yard line.
First and 10, Cheverus from their own 1. So each team had a possession, picked up a couple of first downs, but no score. 4:39 to go, first period. Last one into the huddle will be the quarterback, Cam Olson. Again, pretty good size. We see him on basketball. He has been a reserve on Coach Bob Brown's basketball team last couple of years. May see more time this year. He's 6'3", 198 pounds, under center. Little basic handoff, trying to get some daylight out of the shadow of their own end zone.
34, Coley Walsh, the ball carrier.
Coley Walsh on the carry for a short gain. Bobby Began, who's 109 tackles on the season, made the stop for the Trojans. Jim Toomey along with Jeff Scott. On the field, you had Jeff Christenberry, Tyler Carteret, TATV students helping in support today. 2nd and 6, Cheverus. And inside for a short gain.
33.
Brent Green tackled by the middle of that Thornton defense. We see Luke Libby, 67, in there along that line. Connor McCrum's the defensive end. Mark Bosino, 79, is in there. Quinlan O'Brien, 64. Linebackers, Chris Madden, 50. Bobby Began, 53. Dakota Tarbox, 85. Defensive backs, 41, Josh Sear. 16, Andrew Libby. 12, Kyle Forbes. 33, John Remus. Third and 4 for Cheverus. Olson going to sprint out this way. Olson has the first down and more, and he's finally dragged down by Andrew Libby as he came across the 20-yard line. And if Libby didn't get him, Olson would have had even more real estate. First and 10, Cheverus, as they're able to make a first down. Possession starting at their own 1 yard line. Right now it's a battle of field position. Going to hit the 3-minute mark as Cheverus breaks the huddle. No score. Western Maine Class A final on November 12th. Officials stop the play for a second. Now they say, let's play, gentlemen. Olson going to keep it, and not much there. 50, Chris Madden gets up. The poor PA guy, I got a feel for him. I've done the PA as well, and if you got a faulty speaker system or microphone, it just drives you absolutely crazy.
2nd down and 9.
As the mic or the system is cutting in and out for the Cheverus PA announcer, who's trying to do a nice job, but I'll tell you, it's tough. 1 yard gain that time. 2nd and 9, Cheverus. Sort of a counter play, and not there. Goodrich on the carry. Josh Sear up on the tackle along with Bobby Began. It's going to bring up another 3rd and long for Cheverus.
3rd down and 7.
We see a whole bunch of Lawrence High School players scouting today as they defeated Bangor easily on Veterans Day night. So as we are here live on November 12th, you're watching this on tape later, we know Lawrence will be at Fitzpatrick Stadium as the Eastern Maine Class A representative. DeStagio to the top of the screen. Olson in the spread, across the middle, he arcs it, and let's see, incomplete. Excellent defense as Libby and Chris Madden in the area. Pass intended for Casal. Goes incomplete. Not a bad throw by Olson.
Back deep for Thornton.
Cheverus will be having their first punt of the game. Again, a slight breeze. Looks like Cam Olson is the punter, so that's always dangerous, if not now, later in the game.
And Olson.
Olson gets the kick away. It's a good kick. And a little mix-up by the Trojans and they survive it. Dylan Morton was calling for the fair catch, and Andrew Libby sort of got in the area. The ball got loose, but Thornton jumped on it, so they potentially dodged the bullet there.
Take over first and 10, just outside their own 35-yard line.
Trojans take over across their own 35. Morton and Tarbox going to be flanked this side. Libby looks like at the top of the screen. No score, 1:16 to go, first period. Christensen passes to the right flat over the hands of Libby, incomplete.
The pass was intended for number 16, Libby. Coverage on the party. Second and 10.
I bet you Jeff Scott could fix that PA man's mic. Just give him a minute, he'd be over there. Jeff Christenberry and Jeff Scott would fix that. Second and 10 Trojans. Christensen going to keep it, and Cheverus all over that one. Christian descends. Christian descends, a 6'3", 264-pound senior lineman, led the charge. It's going to be third and about 11 for Thornton, as we just went under 1 minute to go, first period, no score. Dylan Morton, flanked to the near side. Dakota Tarbox, top of the screen. Christensen drops back, regains his feet, and now he's going to go loose ball. Loose ball, who's got it? He escaped the tackler. Cheverus thinks they have it. Let's see what the referee says. It's Cheverus football. Pressure on Christensen. He got away. And in the end, somebody knocked that out of his hands, and Cheverus recovers.
Charlie Rainville on the coverage. Stags take over first and 10 from the TA 30-yard.
Charlie Rainville, a 233-pound lineman, jumped on that ball. So the first turnover of the game, 20 seconds ago, first period. Cheverus, first and 10 from the 30 of Thornton. DeStagio flanked to this near side. Olson under center. Olson sprints this way, looking for DeStagio. Instead, he goes short into the hands of Bobby Began, and he couldn't hang on. Bobby Began dropping back into coverage.
Second and 10.
Pass intended for running back Brent Green coming out of the backfield. Olson looking for DeStagio deep down the right sideline. That was covered, so he went to the short man, Brent Green. Bobby Began getting the passing lane. Second down. Cheverus in an I formation. Hand off to Goodrich. Goodrich with a short gain. That should be the last play of this first quarter. So from the campus of Cheverus High School on November 12th, Western Maine Class A final. The score at the end of the one.
Time expires in the first quarter.
Thornton Academy nothing and Cheverus nothing as you're watching this game on Thornton Academy Television. All right, 3rd and 9, Cheverus. First play of the second period. Olson gonna throw it to the right side, takes it down. Olson gonna run with it. He breaks up tackle, loose ball, and who's got it? Thornton may have it. Let's see. Yes, the official points in the direction of Thornton Academy. So pressure by the Trojans.
And they'll take over 1st and 10.
So both quarterbacks
Take over 1st and 10 from
have
the
trouble
36
securing the ball after trying to make a play. So let's see if the Trojans can take advantage.
yard line.
First and 10 Thornton from their own 26-yard line. No score. Just underway in the second period as Cheverus fumbled on the first play of the period. Christensen going to keep it.
And on the keeper.
Trying to get to the outside, he cannot do it. Again, that offensive line done a good job all season.
Stop by number 36. Ryan
Center,
Casal, second down
Keith
and
Parento,
9.
guards Luke Libby and Chris Madden. Tackles Tyler Danley, David LaPaulo. Connor McCrum, the tight end. Dakota Tarbox, wide receiver. And we see the Wildcat is Christensen. Flank nearest, Andrew Libby with Kenny in motion. Libby fakes to Kenny. Libby is going to be close to a Thornton first down. Takes a whole bunch of Cheverus Stags to bring him down.
Where he's first met by number 14, Fitzpatrick.
Liam Fitzpatrick
Assist
on the tackle for the Stags.
Assist on the
First down, Thornton.
71, Christian Deschaines. And that's it.
I'll tell you, I would go nuts. The poor PA guy as he keeps cutting out on him. Dylan Morton flanked nearest to us. Tarbox at the top of the screen. Christensen takes the snap, throws to the left sideline, and that is complete to Tarbox, and it could be a late hit on Cheverus on that far sideline. But an 8-yard gain, but I think you're going to tack on some more yardage.
In the play. Preliminary indication.
Personal foul against Cheverus, late hit out of bounds. Let's see, the officials will mark it at about the 43 of Cheverus. First and 10 Trojans. First penalty of the game. Christensen back to pass. Flag on the play. And now they're... That was interesting. The play was underway. We saw a flag fly, and in the middle of the play, they blow the whistle. Illegal procedure against Thornton, but I don't know why they let the play go that long. I want Jeff Scott to nod. Randy Pulsar always nodded with me off camera that he was agreeing with me, so you have to do the same thing. If it's a false start, it should have been blown earlier. First and 15. Tarbox nearest to us. It's Libby in the slot. Morton at the top. Christensen. It's going to be complete to Libby. Libby falls forward. It's going to be short of a first down, but it's going to make it second and short. They are saying first down. I'll take that back. First and 10 Trojans, 10:30 to go, first half, no score. Keith Parento, center, leads them out of the huddle. Hand off to Kenny. Kenny with a little daylight. Olsen comes up. Got part of that tackle. Also with some help from Ryan Casale. It's going to be 2nd and about 7 for Thornton. Again, Cheverus has a winning streak dating back to last season when they were state champs at 12-0. It was a year ago on this very site where Jamie Ross of Deering had a game-winning field goal missed by millimeters. And that's going to be incomplete pass as Christensen was sacked. But they're going to call it incompleted pass, I believe. So it's not really a sack in a sense. He just got it away. Don Goodrich came in, hit him right in the back. So the ball goes back to the line of scrimmage. This will be 3rd and 7, so another big 3rd down, as they all are. Always magnified in a close game, however. Let's see what Coach Kevin Kiesel and his staff come up for a play. Morton at the top of the screen, and then Tarbox in the slot. Christensen throws to Kinney out of the backfield. Might have had some daylight over there, but off Kenny's fingertips, incomplete. You got to think they're going to go on 4th down here. The ball on the 29, if they punt it and it goes into the end zone, they're only going to gain 9 yards. Let's see what they do for a play. Mark this one down. Thornton going 4th and 7 from the 29 of Cheverus. Tarbox at the top, Morton at the bottom. Christensen, the junior quarterback, throwing for Tarbox. Tarbox has it batted away by DeStachio as the ball hung up maybe just a little bit. Louis DeStachio at 6'4" went up with Tarbox, and they're going to meet on the basketball court once again this year. DeStachio got the better of that. I think Tarbox actually had a step or two. If Christensen maybe got it more to the pylon or to the outside. But it was a jump ball, and DeStachio won that particular jump ball. So 1st and 10, Cheverus, they mark it at the 28-yard line, 9:15 to go, first half. Olsen, inside handoff, actually bouncing it out to the outside is Coley Walsh. Coley Walsh, senior, hasn't had that many carries this year, but working into this game. Gain of about 5. Coley Walsh only had 2 carries coming into this game. 2nd and 5, Cheverus. No score. Coming this side, Goodrich. Goodrich makes a cut and falls forward. The first down, Cheverus. Again, Goodrich had 271 yards on the season. Again, Cheverus missing their all-state running back, Spencer Cook, who had 1,076 yards, 16 touchdowns. Broken bone in his foot 3 weeks ago. DeStachio, top of the screen. Olsen in the spread on first down. Sort of a counter play, and I think that was Bobby Began. Bobby Began acted like he was in the Cheverus huddle that time because they counted with Goodrich going away from the flow, and the junior linebacker, Bobby Began, with tremendous anticipation that time. Began coming in again with 109 tackles on the season. Again, DeStachio nearest to us. He's always dangerous. Kyle Forbes one-on-one with him right now. Olsen trying to go to DeStachio. DeStachio, catch. Out of bounds, first down. That's the type of prediction I don't want to be correct. I don't want to be correct. It was only a matter of time before they were trying to go to DeStasio. Again, last year he was primarily a place kicker, not really playing football that much. All of a sudden, he became the regular place kicker and also a wide receiver. And now today he's playing on both sides of the ball. As the wind picks up, as you might hear in our microphones here. Olsen gonna keep and picks up a couple again. He's big and strong and makes something out of nothing. 7.5 minutes to go, first half, no score. Picked up 7 on the play. 2nd and 3, Cheverus from the 30 of Thornton. Along that defensive line, Mark Bossino, Quinlan O'Brien, Luke Libby. Olsen under center. Inside handoff to Green. Green's gonna have a first down as he goes to around the 15-yard line. Chris Madden, part of that tackle. I think the PA man has pulled the final plug, or maybe they're trying to fix it. We always use the PA people to help us with some of the tackles or assisted tackles. Paul Remus does an outstanding job at Thornton Academy with that. Again, we're up on the hill. And you see we have the hill in front of us. Some mini stands, the track, and then the field. So quite a distance away here. 1st and 10, Cheverus Stags. Olsen wants the pass, throwing to the right side, and let's see, incomplete. Good throw, good catch, but DeStasio was over the end line. Again, Kyle Forbes has the task of trying to stay with DeStasio. Right now, he's pretty much one-on-one with no help. DeStasio, starting basketball player for a couple of years, starting shortstop on the championship baseball team as well. Finally a senior, and probably the coaches around the SMAA will be glad to see him graduate, as he's impacted 3 sports in a positive way. 2nd and 10 for Cheverus. DeStasio flank nearest to us. Olsen in the spread. And he gives off to Goodrich on the counter. Flags on the play. You would think there's going to be a hold on this side. Thornton fans are hoping for a hold right on this corner. Olsen started to the right. The counter to Goodrich coming back. And I call it chop block. Blocking below the waist. That's dangerous if you hit somebody low. So that's a major penalty. $15-yard penalty against the Cheverus Stags. 2nd and 25. The idea is they'll try to get about half of it on this down. Let's see what Coach John Wolfgram sends in the play as Cam Olsen came to the sideline. He usually does and comes back out. DeStasio way top of the screen. That's Fitzpatrick in the slot. Fitzpatrick now in motion. Olsen under center. Olsen on the slant to DeStasio, complete. Kyle Forbes on the tackle. A short game, pretty good defense by the Trojans that time. Josh Sear going to come out, replaced by Cody Forbes. It's actually still 3rd and 15. So they picked up about 10 on that 2nd and 25. Cheverus, 2 receivers to the top, 1 receiver to this near side. Olsen back to pass, throwing deep down that right sideline. It's going to be picked off by Libby. Libby at the 10, 15, 20. And Libby all the way across the 35-yard line about. Andrew Libby, as the ball was overthrown. And Libby picks up another interception. That's his 4th of the season. And actually going to mark it at the 33-yard line with 5:05 to go, first half. 1st and 10 Trojans, so both teams have made some first downs and some turnovers. Libby on the Wildcat absorbs contact, falls forward for a short gain. So again, there's no surprises this time of the year as far as scouting reports go. I'm sure there's all kinds of game film. They exchange films. We've had internet presentations and people taping it. It's a question of, at this point, execution. Dylan Morton, bottom of the screen. Tarbox at the top. Christensen throws to Tarbox, incomplete.
Ball was intended for number 85, Dakota Tarbox.
Maybe thrown a little bit to the outside as Tarbox is doing a slant left to right. 3rd and 7 for the Trojans. The ball being in the air a lot today, more than usual, but this is what you have to do in different matchups, and certainly an undefeated team, you want to show them everything and then maybe save something for a special play. The wind in their face. Christensen has a complete to Tarbox. Excellent execution that time, the Golden Trojans. I'm not sure Cheverus could stay with Tarbox at this point. It could be a Tarbox versus D'Stasio matchup. By the time this one goes to a verdict, first down, Thornton Academy, wind picks up. That was really drilled by Christensen against the wind. Nice throw, Eric Christensen. 1st and 10, Trojans, 48. Flat pass to Libby. Libby makes a cut. Libby down that left sideline is going to be caught from behind. 3 Stags finally knock Libby out of bounds inside the 20, and another flag. Let's see what this is about. Something happened on that far sideline well after the play was over. Pass on a flat caught by Libby. Personal foul against Cheverus for a late hit. Second late hit on Cheverus. So 1st and 10 for the Trojans. Actually, it's going to be 1st and goal as they march it all the way into about the 7-yard line. 1st and goal Trojans, 3:55 to go, first half. That's Libby, and he's met. 2-yard gain, I'm going to guess, at the most. Thornton has to punch this in the end zone. When you're playing a team like Cheverus, anytime you get inside that red zone, inside the 20 as people define it, or especially inside the 10, you got to score. You got to put points on there. And Coach Kiesel communicating. Right now the offense is looking at them as an entirety. And they may have to call a timeout here and get everybody on the same page. So 3:11 to go, first half, no score. Western Maine Class A football championship. Cheverus and Thornton Academy, 10-0 Stags against the 9-1 Golden Trojans. And certainly one of those games, Jeff Scott, that I like to be a neutral fan, just to enjoy it. Not be involved as a fan or even broadcaster, where we have to sort of keep things in perspective and keep everything straight on the telecast with our stats and observations. Again, the weather's cooperated. I'm going to say about 48 degrees maybe. The breeze has picked up going right to left. which could play a part in a potential Brandon Briggs field goal attempt, if it comes down to that. But certainly, you can't take your timeouts into the locker room. So, excellent call. Any doubt, call timeout. 2nd and goal, Thornton from the 7-yard line. Again, this possession started. Cheverus was driving deep in Thornton's territory. A fumble stopped one drive, but then interception by Libby stopped another drive. Pass to Tarbox, and then a pass to Libby, tack on the personal foul, and that's why it's at the 7. 2nd and goal in the Wildcat Libby, but Kenny has it, and he's going to be dragged down for a loss. The very quick Donald Goodrich. He is not very big, 162 pounds, but he's very quick, and he knifed in there. And probably it's like about a yard or 2 loss on the play. Yard loss, the scoreboard says. 3rd and goal from the 8. Libby is flanked nearest to us. Christensen. Quarterback draw. Christensen is close to the inside the 5. And I think they're going to go for the field goal. Brandon Briggs. Very successful on the year. 1 field goal. And Cody Lynn is the long snapper today. Briggs, 1 field goal. 25 extra points. The kick is down. It's a line drive kick. Let's see if he get it in there. It's good, and Thornton has taken the lead. 3-0 on a field goal by Brandon Briggs. So as they come back up the field, 1:56 to go, first half. Thornton 3 and Cheverus nothing. You're watching high school football on Thornton Academy Television. All right, so it was Cody Lynn, the long snapper, Eric Christensen, the holder, and Brandon Briggs on the 2nd field goal of the season. Drilled it through. Line drive down the middle. Picked up by Cheverus. That's Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick with a little daylight. Fitzpatrick finally corralled from behind. Andrew Libby in there. And let's see who that second tackler was. John Remus, 33. Excellent return by Fitzpatrick.
44-yard line.
1st and 10 Stags from their own 44. Let's see what they do as they trail 3-0. Cheverus has hardly trailed at all this year, if any, during the season. Maybe a couple of minutes. Olsen under center. Goodrich sort of slips and regains his balance, and the referee says your knee was down. So he's going to be marked back in the backfield for a loss. Excellent effort by Goodrich, but his knee did hit.
5-6-3-4. 5-6-3-4 PC.
2nd and 14 for the Stags.
We need to have this vehicle moved immediately. A black Nissan Altima, 5-6-3.
Don Goodrich is flanked nearest to us. DeStagio, top of the screen. Olsen, plenty of time. Now he's being chased, and he's sacked. But give credit to the Thornton secondary that time. The Thornton secondary had the receivers locked up. Olsen did have time, but then he was pressured and finally brought down. Tarbox was in pursuit. 45 seconds on a moving clock. Cheverus at this point has not taken a timeout. It's going to be 3rd and 20. And again, we're under 25 seconds. DeStagio flank nearest to us. Kyle Forbes on, but also Libby playing a little zone behind him. Olsen on the keeper. Olsen going to pick up some yardage, but they're going to stop the clock on the first down carry by Cam Olsen. But Cheverus may let this run out. Actually, Thornton called timeout. That's right, because it's fourth down. As I looked at the wrong stake here, it's fourth down, as that was a long situation. Is it first down? Okay. See, it's 4th and 8, the scoreboard says. I think that on the far sideline, I think that's incorrect, because the punt receiving team's in there for Thornton. Fourth and 8. Now this, do you go for the block here with 10 seconds? You have to be careful of roughing. Andrew Libby is the only one back for Thornton. I'm not sure if Thornton would do a trick play here, or rather Cheverus would. Wow, Olsen juggled that one, and Libby gonna let it go. And with 0.6 of a second, Thornton will just take a knee probably and go in with a 3-0 lead. So both teams had some excellent drives. Turnovers sort of stopped both teams, but Thornton took advantage of the last turnover by Cheverus to march down the field. Give credit to Cheverus, they made a defensive stand as Thornton had a 1st and goal from the 7. In the end, it was Brandon Briggs with about a 22-yard field goal to give them this 3-0 lead. Again, Christensen takes the knee, and we go to the locker room. At the end of the first half, this Western Maine Championship, Thornton Academy 3 and Cheverus 0. Let's send it down onto the field to Jeff Christenberry.
All right, well, Tyler, here we are at halftime, 3-0 Trojans. I mean, when you look defensively, Thornton Academy's played about as perfect as they can.
Yes.
What have you seen so far from the defensive line, which really has played well? As we talked about it, they needed to play well today. Mark Boissenal, Bobby Began, they're all doing so well. What have you seen so far from them?
Well, what I would really say is that, first of all, they're just being very solid. They're being very physical, like we talked about in the pregame. They're doing a really good job with that. Also, they seem to be just overall reading the plays well, and for the most part, the biggest thing I'm seeing is that they're causing mistakes for Cheverus. Right now, you know, we saw 2 Cheverus turnovers where they could have easily scored points. A lot of that comes from the defensive line and the formation that they're in. So they're doing a really good job reading these plays. They're doing an excellent job just overall playing solid defense from start to finish on each and every play.
What can you say about the turnovers? Obviously, Cheverus really... Well, first the turnover from Eric Christensen, obviously, trying to make a play. He took the ball down, probably should have taken a sack there. And what were your thoughts there, obviously? He's played pretty well, except for that one play, but it's always in your back of your mind that, you know, make a boneheaded play like that, and, you know, boneheaded in the fact that he should have taken a sack.
Exactly.
You know, he got hit pretty hard. It was a tough fumble. But
I think in that instance right there, you saw how young Eric Christensen is. You know, I think a senior quarterback, a quarterback who's been around for 2 years, would know what to do in that play in a big game. He was just trying to make something happen that wasn't there. It happens from time to time, but thankfully that defense has been able to cover those mistakes.
But obviously, Andrew Libby playing very well, made the big interception on the 1-yard line. And
huge.
What have you seen from him so far, especially defensively? He did have one mistake in the first quarter that ended up being a long gainer, but what has he done defensively to really kind of keep this team in the game?
Really on defense, he's been motivating his teammates, I think, and overall, he's been making plays where there aren't necessarily plays. You know, I think a lot of times when you think about a really good defensive player, you think of Troy Polamalu for the Steelers. He is all over the field. They kind of let him have free reign, do whatever he wants. Not that Andrew Libby is that same type of player, but today we've seen a lot more of that. He's very versatile on defense, and also, you know, he's come up big with those plays. We saw that interception in the second quarter.
Yeah, I think Bobby Began also been a very good player today for the Trojans. He had a couple tackles for loss. Was this close to having an interception that would have really given Thornton Academy good field position. Man. Field position, let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, it's really been back and forth. I mean, Cheverus has turned the ball over within their own 30, at the Trojans' 30-yard line or closer. And how big is field position in the second half? Thornton does get the ball, but a 3-0 lead. All you need is one turnover. If you don't score, you could could be still losing the game.
I think the battle of field position is huge in this game. You've seen how Cheverus has gotten pinned deep in their own territory. They've been able to take it out a couple of times, and of course those turnovers have really hurt them. But TA, the same thing. TA's actually been gifted in this game so far with the fact that they've had some pretty good field position a lot of times. Their offense hasn't exactly been firing on all cylinders, but they seem to be moving the ball pretty well, and most importantly, they're really limiting Cheverus on that offense.
Yeah. Now, as we look towards the second half, Thornton Academy does get the ball. What would you like to see to them do different offensively? Move the ball a little bit more. They're throwing the ball a lot more than I thought they would, successfully.
Yes.
But what do they need to do in the second half to keep the ball? Because it's really going to be all about ball control for them.
Yeah, I think for TA right now, I really like the fact that they're trying to mix in the Wildcat. You have to do something different than Andrew Libby right at the middle. They're reading that play time and time again. They probably run it 4 or 5 times in this game alone. You got to do something different. If you really want to have success in this game with that Wildcat, figure out something to do. And I think that Wildcat could really come in handy. But also, I just want to mention, when it comes to passing the ball, TA is going to be very careful they don't get too confident when it comes to that passing game, because we've seen a couple times they start throwing 3-4 passes in a set of downs, and all of a sudden they start having turnovers, making mistakes. Really important for them to keep balancing that run with Andrew Libby and Nick Kenny, and also the pass game.
Now, obviously, Cheverus has been hurting themselves not only with turnovers but penalties. We've seen 2 now late hit penalties, and I'm sure Coach Wolfgram's over talking to the team at halftime, telling them they cannot afford that. We've been on the sideline all year, pretty much every game except for the Noble game, and I have not seen a more confident, relaxed team. I think it's more relaxed than anything, saying, we can play with this team. I think this half's going to give them a lot of motivation. But again, second half, this Cheverus team, they've shown they could throw the ball. I did get confirmation that Louis DeStasio long pass was out of bounds. There's a big divot over there on the sideline, so missed call on that one. But Thornton Academy's given up two big plays.
Yeah.
But Louis DeStasio, I think you're going to see a lot more of him in the second half. So what does Thornton Academy have to do to key on them? You don't want to change anything defensively because you're doing it right, but you have to adjust. How do you balance that? Adjustments versus keeping what's been going right.
I think there's a difference between retooling with what you have right now and making some adjustments, like you said. That's really what they need to do. Just make little tweaks here and there, where once in a while you'll see there's guys open where I really don't think the quarterback for Cheverus has seen them open. They probably could have had some big plays. Really important to play shutdown defense in all facets of the game, especially in that secondary that we talked about, giving up some big plays. But on offense too, talking about missed opportunities, the play calling is what concerns me the most right now and what they need to change a little bit. They've had some brilliant play calls. I know they had that pump fake toward the end zone, and I think it was the first quarter. But they need to do that a little bit more often, I think, really mix them up, because they've been kind of predictable at times in this game. And I think in order to really start firing on all cylinders, they need to start being a little bit more unpredictable.
And I think what we've seen in the first half is decent execution offensively. So I think the encouraging going forward is that they haven't yet opened up that playbook, really. I mean, they've thrown a lot of passes, but the fact that they've been able to complete some passes, I think you may see a lot more Nick Kenny in the second half. He's done a pretty good job holding onto the ball, fighting for extra yards. He's going to be key. I mean, Thornton Academy cannot afford to have a couple 2- or 3-minute possessions, because this team, Cheverus team, can go down the field in 3 plays.
And I just want to point out too that I was actually I was over on the sidelines right after they scored the field goal, and I was walking back, and I overheard, I think it was Mark Bossenall, one of their linebackers. He was talking about how everybody this week had said they were going to be down 21-0 at halftime, how it wasn't going to be a close game, how they were going to be losing at halftime. And so this team is very confident. They're very excited right now. Not to say that they should be confident, overexcited, but they're comfortable with where they're at in this game. And I really think you're going to see some interesting plays from TA. And of course, Cheverus is going to come out fighting tooth and nail here, because they're a team that never gives up.
Now, that field goal, obviously, Thornton Academy gets it within the 10-yard line. They're unable to punch it in. Obviously, you're happy to get points, because 0-0 is anything can happen. But how big was it not to get a touchdown in that play, on that possession? Had a couple of decent looks at it, but didn't get within the 5, and that's why I think it was a smart call to kick the field goal with Brandon Briggs. He's been a great kicker all year. So looking forward into the second half, TA gets the ball to start. How important is it? What kind of drive are you looking for? I mean, obviously a scoring drive, a touchdown drive would be ideal.
Yes.
What can they not afford to do on the first drive?
I think the first thing you can't afford to do is have a long drive down the field and then turn the ball over, which we've seen TA do a couple of times this year, because that would just be absolutely killer to morale. I think even though they're moving the ball at that point, it would be very detrimental to their team. Also, I think really quick turnovers cannot happen in this first drive down the field. They really got to make sure they hold the ball, good possession. And lastly, like we talked about, I think ultimately they need to come away with points on this drive as well. And you'd really like to see a touchdown, because in a football game, 6 points doesn't get you much if the other team scores a touchdown.
Yeah, I think a 3-and-out is really wouldn't be very good for Thornton Academy, because Cheverus, when we heard them already during halftime during this broadcast, they're really getting pumped up. You know that they're going to be pinning the ears back. Yeah. Hopefully they make a mental mistake. They made a lot already, so you can't really expect them to make a whole lot more, but you never know. So if you go 3 and out, all of a sudden you lose that advantage of getting the kickoff. Cheverus comes out and scored. All of a sudden, all the work you've done, all of a sudden you're down. You're down by 4. I'm looking for them, obviously scoring, but if they can get down, get some first downs, maybe move to midfield, even if they have to punt, pin them deep, make them earn it, and see what happens in the second half. Last question before we head back to Jim Toomey up in the booth. What is it like? I mean, it's kind of like last week. It was one of those games against South Portland where you didn't really realize how great the game was until it was over at the end of the game. This is such a big crowd here today, and it could be even much bigger, obviously, if it was at a different facility. 3-0, everyone's really into it. Thornton Academy's playing well, and how do you think this is going to end? I know you predicted Thornton Academy to win, but, I think already we've seen if Thornton Academy does go down, maybe if they give up a couple touchdowns and lose, they put a really good showing. And what can you say about this team showing the fight in that first half that they've shown all year? I think I have to say I've been on the sidelines, as you said. We've been there, all season long, practically 10 or so weeks. I have never seen a sideline for TA more pumped up, more energized than today. And I don't think I've ever seen a fan section as excited as they are today. So I think regardless of the outcome of this game, TA's got to know that they played really, really well, at least so far. They played really, really well. I think it's improbable that they're even here today. When you look at their schedule starting, we took a look at it back in August. 5-3, maybe 5-3, 4-4, 5-3. Maybe they make the playoffs if they're lucky. And to see them here in the Western Maine, Class A finals is just unbelievable. And I think it really speaks volumes of the coaching staff, of the players. It's a very young team. They were still struggling to find their identity early on. And of course, the fans play a role in it too. And I think the fans have been very supportive of them throughout this journey. So hopefully it continues, and looking forward to a great second half. All right, well, that's going to do it here for the halftime show of Thornton Academy Sports Live. Again, the score 3-0 Thornton Academy. They do get the ball in the second half, but those Cheverus Stags are going to be ready for something else. So we'll send it back out now to Jim Toomey. We'll be after the game, win or lose, hopefully with some interviews from the regional champion Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. But Jim, take it away for the second half. Captains re-meeting, and it's going to be Thornton receiving the second half kickoff as they deferred the first half, and it's going to pay off for them as they lead 3-0 with less than a minute to go in the first half. Brandon Briggs with about a 21-yard field goal has given this TA squad a 3-0 lead over undefeated Cheverus. Certainly a lot of football to be played. Both teams playing very well. It was sort of a series of turnovers on both sides. They exchanged some fumbles. On the last drive was interception by Andrew Libby. Deep in Cheverus, deep in his own territory. He ran it back, and then a pass to the flat to Tarbox. Then a pass to Libby, tack on 15 for a personal foul against Cheverus. Ended up being a first and goal TA from the 7. They could not punch it in, so Coach Kiesel went to the field goal team. Cody Lynn, the long snapper, Eric Christensen, the holder, and Brandon Briggs saw the line, drived it through, but certainly good enough to give the Trojans a 3-0 lead. DeStagio with a kickoff, line drive kick. Nick Kenny at his own 5. And he's going to be brought down at about the 17. Tackle on the play, number 30. Jackson McMahon. Down on special teams for Cheverus was Jackson McMahon, a junior backup wide receiver. So 1st and 10 Trojans from their own 19. I'm Jim Toomey along with Jeff Scott on the camera. We apologize for the microphone. TA-TV General Manager Jeff Christenberry has been hosting the pregame show along with Tyler Catterett as we're broadcasting from the campus of Cheverus High School on November 12th. Christensen has his pass knocked down. I think Goodrich showed his leaping ability. Ball was batted down by number 22, Don Goodrich. Goodrich at 5'9", climbed the ladder, knocked it down. They were trying to go to Libby in the flat, it looked like, from here. Again, you see Baxter Boulevard in the background, Back Bay, and the skyline of Portland. Again, a light breeze going right to left on your screen, probably about 7 to 10 miles an hour.
Second down, Thornton. Christensen again back to pass. Throws to Libby, overthrown.
For 16, Andrew Libby.
So it's going to be third down. Thornton comes up, throws a couple of passes. We've probably seen more passes today than any 3 games combined, but that's what you have to do against a tough opponent. Sort of mix it up and maybe change your game plan just a little bit.
At the half, in Wells, the score is Wells 3, Mountain Valley no score.
And that was unusual. Just heard from, of course, by you watch this tape, be all over. Wells leading Mountain Valley 3-0. A little shuffle pass to Libby, pretty well defense. That's how Levitt won the Eastern B Championship on a 2-point conversion with a play just like that. Gain of about 5, 4th and 5.
At their own 24-yard line.
Libby back in punt formation.
Number 19, Louis
DeStagio back for Cheverus.
Libby will be punting.
Good snap. Libby gets away high, not too deep. Let's see what the bounce does. DeStagio calls for a fair catch. He makes the fair catch actually in Thornton territory. Excellent field position for the Stags for about the 48-yard line.
48-yard line.
1st and 10 Stags going right to left on your screen. Again, Cam Olson, the quarterback, 6'3", 198-pound senior. Number 24, Brent Green, a running back. Number 33, he's a 185-pound junior. Don Goodrich, number 22, 162-pound junior, will be in the backfield. Louis DeStagio flanked to the near side. He's a 6'4", 172-pound senior. Olson under center.
Goodrich is the ball carrier.
Goodrich trying to get to the outside, and he's going to pick up good yardage. Very quick feed of Don Goodrich.
Inside the 40 by number 16.
Looks like that play was designed to go inside. He bounced it outside.
Number 12, Carl Forbes. And that'll be a first down for the Stags.
First down, Cheverus.
Ball will be marked on the Thornton Academy 37-yard line.
37-yard line of Thornton. DeStagio, top of the screen. Cheverus in an I formation. Hand off. Brent Green all over that one. Quinlan O'Brien, 64. Mark Bosino, 79. And getting up last, Dakota Tarbox, 85. As they throw Green for a loss.
Lee, assist to number 79, Mark Boisino.
And the PA announcer back on line here, but calling some wrong names of the Thornton team. He's seen the numbers a little bit differently than I am. But I'm glad to see the PA back. Glad to hear that the PA is back in pretty good shape. Goodrich now flanked nearest to us. DeStagio at the top. In the spread formation, Olson throws it down for Goodrich. Inside position by Cody Forbes. Cody Forbes, excellent inside position. That ball had to be thrown on the back shoulder, and it was thrown more to the inside, so Forbes held that position. 3rd and 12 Stags. Another big third down play. Thornton leading 3-0. 10:07 to go, third period, Western Maine Class A Football Championship. Taping this game from the campus of Cheverus High School on November 12th. Olson in the spread. In motion is Goodrich. Throwing out to the right flat, complete to DeStagio, and I think he's going to be short of the first down. You get a feeling that Cheverus will be going on 4th down here.
The 4th down in less than 1.
Saw Kyle Forbes over there on that sideline. Checking in for
Ball is inside the 20
Cheverus, Sam Duddy, number 40. As they're going to go to a tight formation, I'm going to guess here, as DeStagio comes out. So we'll see if we'll see a full house backfield a la Thornton. It certainly will be a tight formation, double tight ends. And now they shift out of it just a little bit. 4th down, Cheverus, first possession of this half. And Libby and Began say no way. And Goodrich is thrown for a loss, and Thornton takes over.
Looks like it's going to be short. Thornton Academy will take over. 1st and 10 on their own 20.
Andrew Libby and Bobby Began. And the stats prevail. Bobby Began, 109 tackles coming in, as we said. Andrew Libby with 88.
Broadcast today at AM 870 in Portland, AM 1470 in Lewiston with the main sports network.
1st and 10, Thornton.
WCSH TV.
And a short gain. And that was Nick Kenny picking up maybe a tough one. As we saw Christian Deschaines in there, again, number 71, one of the captains for Cheverus, 6'3", 264-pound senior. Morton nearest to us. Next man over is Tarbox. I think it's Christensen going to keep it, and nothing there. As Nick Kenny was flying to the top.
1st and 22, Don Goodrich.
Goodrich on the tackle for Cheverus.
36, Ryan Cassell.
That's going to 3rd and 11. So solid call between a rock and a hard place here. Thornton doesn't want to be too conservative. However, you don't want to give up the ball in this area of the field. Aaron Scott checking into the backfield, number 43 for Thornton. I think he replaced Nick Kenny. Morton at the bottom. Tarbox at the top, Libby in the slot. Christensen throwing left side out there. Tarbox is out there and overthrown just a little bit. DeStasio on defense. It'll be a punting situation for Thornton. As we said earlier, DeStasio was not playing defense till a couple of games ago. And I believe he's taking Spencer Cook's place on defense.
For Thornton, number 16, Andrew Libby.
Again, Libby has the wind in his face. DeStasio back for Cheverus. Libby gets it away. And it's bouncing around, and Josh Sear on the coverage watches it goes out of bounds. Cheverus again with excellent field position at their own 45.
With 7:56 remaining in the 3rd quarter.
Again, Lawrence of Fairfield has already won the Eastern A title. Levitt of Turner, defending state B champions, have won the Eastern B title, so they'll already be at Fitzpatrick Stadium on the 19th. Again, be a triple header at 11, 2:30, and 6, the usual times, and the matchups will be announced during the week as you watch this tape delay broadcast on Thornton Academy Television. Olsen hands off to Green, and right at the ankles, Dakota Tarbox had him right by the ankle. Green fell forward for about a yard. That's about it.
2nd down and a long 9.
Thornton defense playing very, very well. Again, be wary of Cheverus's big play, especially with a pass to DeStasio. And today they're also sending Goodrich deep. Goodrich, one of the running backs today, will be flanking out from time to time. And as we've seen, he's very quick. Right now, Goodrich is flanked, number 22 to the near side, DeStasio to the top. In motion is Fitzpatrick. Olsen throws a slant and over the head. And wait a minute, a flag comes in. And that was way over the head of Louis DeStasio.
Preliminary indication will be against Thornton.
And I have to say, that was a real phantom call there. If somebody doesn't like it, write to Jeff Scott.
penalty will bring the ball back inside the 40.
I didn't even see any contact.
Into the 39.
It was a slant pattern from DeStagio. The ball sailed over his head. The defender is entitled to his space. So again, if you're taping this at home in the soccer area, run it back and watch the tape. If you see me during basketball, say I was wrong. I don't. First and 10 for Cheverus. Ball at the 39 of Thornton. Olsen fakes the handoff. He wants the pass. He's being chased. The pass is complete. Deep into Thornton's territory. It's going to be down around the 5-yard line. Ryan Casal.
Inside the 5-yard line. Mark it on the 5. First and goal for the Stags.
Ryan Casal with his 5th catch of the season. He had 4 catches for 85 yards and 1 touchdown coming in, and he comes up with a key catch. First and goal, Cheverus. They mark it right at the 5-yard line. 7:01 to go, and now the clock starts. Tight formation for the Stags. Olsen hands off to Goodrich. Goodrich going to be dragged down. Began has him, going to get some help. Libby finishes off up top, but I'll tell you, Bobby Began was not going to let go. Josh Sear also in there. They mark it back at the 5. And again, if Thornton can make a stand here, Cheverus has an outstanding kicking game by the way of Louis DeStagio. Olsen moves Goodrich to the right wing. Olsen sprints out to the right, pass option, and that's incomplete. Bounced around. Off the hands of DeStagio, and for a second it was up for grabs. I guess it was intended for Walsh over there. DeStagio in the area, and that ball was up in the air for a second. A couple of white shirts had their eyes on it. It fell to the turf. Third and goal, Cheverus from the 5. Again, you may see Olsen rolling out with a run-pass option. DeStagio, top of the screen. See if they run that slant play again. Olsen under center. Back to pass Olsen. He sprints to the right. He tries to cut it back, and he's into the end zone for a Cheverus touchdown. The very strong Cam Olsen runs it in from 5 yards out.
5:25 remaining in the third quarter.
DeStagio will be the place kicker. Cheverus leading 6-3.
To snap. Liam Fitzpatrick to hold. And Louis DeStagio.
Fitzpatrick the holder. DeStagio's kick is up and good. So as we come back up the field, Cheverus 7 and Thornton Academy 3 on Thornton Academy Television.
3 for the Golden Trojans. Number 24, Morton.
All right, let's see how Thornton reacts to this, trailing for the first time. DeStagio kicks off. And it's going to be a touchback into the end zone, automatic touchback at high school. So Trojans first and 10 from the 20-yard line.
First and 10.
Jim Toomey along with Jeff Scott. Jeff Christenberry, Tyler Carteret, students of TA TV in technical support, as Christensen throws a pass to the sideline. I think it's, no, they say incomplete. Tarbox tried to go down, get his hands underneath. Could not do it, as Thornton playing into the wind here. For the last 5:21 of this third period. Now, very important for Thornton to get a couple of first downs here and change field position. Because again, if they have to punt against this wind, Cheverus could have it in midfield. Wildcat alert as Libby behind center fakes to Kenny. Libby trying to find a hole. Libby does find a hole and falls forward all the way out to the 28-yard line. It's going to be about 3rd and 2, maybe even less than that. Flaherty on the tackle for Cheverus, and along with Casale for the Cheverus Stags. Again, Cheverus with a 2-year winning streak, defending state champions. Full house backfield. Remus, Kenny, and Libby. And I think Cheverus held as Thornton tried to go right up the middle. And they might even lost yardage. Kenny, the ball carrier.
Stop to number 36.
He definitely lost a yard.
Ryan Cassell. And then bring up a fourth.
So the full house backfield, which has been very successful that time,
Number 14, Fitzpatrick.
was well defensed by Cheverus. So Libby again will punt into the wind. Good snap. Libby gets it away. Fitzpatrick at about the 38, 40, and over the 45. Josh Sear in there. Riley Chamberlain assisting. 1st and 10 Cheverus. Very important for Thornton to hold Cheverus on this drive. You don't want Cheverus to start getting momentum more than what it is right now.
Winning number today, 917-694. 917-694. If you have the winning number, please bring it to the scorer's table. 917-694. $1,393.
1st and 10 Cheverus. I formation. Olsen handoff to Goodrich. Goodrich breaks it. Goodrich has the speed. 30, 20, 10, and Goodrich is in the end zone for the touchdown. 54 yards. Donald Goodrich, the speedy junior, is into the end zone. And just when I said that don't give Cheverus any momentum, Donald Goodrich, who's shown some speed and quickness throughout the day.
54-yard touchdown pass by number 22, Don Goodrich. Tom Sullivan will be this long snapper.
DeStagio will attempt the point.
And 19.
And the kick is good. So as they come back up the field, 3:39 to go, 3rd period. Cheverus 14 and Thornton Academy 3. You're watching playoff football action on Thornton Academy television.
Number 34.
Okay.
Kenny.
Thornton needs a big return here for field position and also to feel better about themselves. DeStagio with the wind at his back. This time it's sort of a spinning kick. Libby at about the 3. Libby with the hole up the middle and across the 30 to about the 32. Excellent return, Andrew Libby.
Number 27, your tackler, Joe Fitzpatrick.
It's Joe Fitzpatrick, a freshman, on the tackle.
A 30-yard return to the 32-yard line.
Plenty of time left, 3:34 to go, 3rd period. Cheverus 14, the Trojans 3. Trojans led 3-0 at the half. Tarbox will be flanked to the top of the screen. Nick Kenny in the left slot. Libby in the Wildcat. Christensen nearest to us. Libby's going to throw it to the flat to Tarbox. Tarbox giving up ground, and it's actually going to lose yardage.
First in on the play, number 64, Parker Doyon. Assist to number 16, Mike Flaherty.
Doyon and Flaherty
Down and
on the defensive
16.
stop for Cheverus.
The ball is on the 27-yard line. Second
Second
15.
and about 15. So completed pass, but it's a 5-yard loss in the books. Looks like Libby flanked to the top of the screen. Christensen calling signals. He's being rushed and he's sacked. He had some time,
That's a Cheverus sack attack.
and then everything caved in.
And number 61, Captain Mike Didion.
Mike Didion, a senior lineman,
Ball will be
along with
the 22-yard
Goodrich.
line. Third down and 20.
made that sack. 3rd and 20. This is where you look for a draw play or maybe a screen pass. Pretty tough to go down deep here. And it's ironic that Thornton got the second half kickoff, and because of that, they have not had the field position because Cheverus has stopped them in their own end. Christensen throwing, overthrown, and almost intercepted by DeStasio.
For number 42,
Trying to go to Connor McCrum, the tight end.
it's
And that would have been a first down catch probably. He was about 2 yards from the first down marker. And somehow if he could have corralled it, he would probably had the first down.
number 19, Louis DeStasio.
So again, Thornton will have to punt. The 3rd punt of the period. Again, a slight breeze in Libby's face. Line drive kick. Somebody might have got a hand on that one. And Bailey got out to the 40-yard line.
40-yard line.
I don't know if he lost it on the drop or somebody got a hand on it.
Remaining to go in the third quarter. Your score is Cheverus 14, 3 for the Golden Trojans.
There was pressure on Libby that time.
Broadcast by the main
1st and 10 Stags
on 870
from the 40 of Thornton.
1970 in Lewiston, Auburn.
Don't be surprised if Cheverus tries to go up top here to DeStasio.
It's
DeStasio flying top of the screen.
WCSH website.
Olsen under center. Hand off to Green.
33, Brent Green.
Green being dragged down
35-yard line to the
by Luke Libby
where he's met by
and brother Andrew, the Libby brothers on that one.
and assist to number 67, Luke Libby. That'll be a 2nd down and 4 for the Stags.
6-yard gain for Brent Green. Again, Green, a junior, 185-pound running back. But Green and Goodrich have picked up the slack for the injured Spencer Cook, who rushed for over 1,000 yards this year for the Stags. 2nd down, tight formation. DeStasio makes the catch.
Number 19, Louis DeStasio.
Very quick pass out to the outside for a Cheverus first down.
25-yard line.
Chris Madden, John Remus in the area, along with Cody Forbes.
Where he stopped by number 33, John Remies, and number 50, Chris Madden. And that'll be a first down for the Stags.
1:08 to go, 3rd period. Cheverus 14, Thornton 3. Thornton definitely needs a turnover to stay in this game and shift that momentum. Counterplay pretty well stacked up by the Trojans.
Picks up 2 to the 21-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 8. Stop on the play.
That
number
was
67,
Goodrich.
Libby.
Luke Libby
2nd down and 8.
on the tackle. It looks like to be running maybe one more play this period as we were under
Reminder, next
30
Saturday at
seconds.
Fitzpatrick Stadium, Super Saturday, all 3 state Class A, Class B, and Class C football championships.
This could be the last play of the period, depending if it's an incomplete pass or not, as we're under 10 seconds. Olsen got to keep it. And he's going to be brought down, shooting the gap. Dakota Tarbox from his linebacking position throws Olson for a loss as the third period comes to an end. At the end of 3 quarters of action, Western Maine Class A Championship, Cheverus 14 and Thornton Academy 3. You're watching playoff action on Thornton Academy Television. I don't know how it could be since the whole play lasted 1.8 seconds.
Number 24.
The guy does a slant. I mean, the defender just. All right, fourth quarter.
On the 25-yard line, where it'll be 2nd down and 12.
Well, let's see. The scoreboard says 3rd down. I think it's 3rd down and about 12. Olson back to pass. Has time. Throws for DeStasio, and DeStasio has it for a Cheverus touchdown. Nice arcing pass by Olson. And DeStasio, with that height, was able to reach up and catch it on the first play of this fourth period. Cam Olson has waited his turn to be the quarterback and certainly has had an outstanding season. Nice touch on that one. DeStasio will attempt the point. And it's good.
With 11:53 remaining in the game.
21-3, Cheverus.
3 for the Golden Trojans.
DeStasio will kick off.
And number 34, Nick Kenny.
Squib kick. Who's going to pick it up? Live ball. Tarbox has it and immediately wrestled to the ground. It'll be 1st and 10 Trojans.
Stop on the play.
From their own 25, I believe.
Number 39. Correction. Ball is 1st and 10 from the Cheverus, from the Thornton Academy 27-yard line.
Mark it actually at the 27. 1st and 10 Trojans. The Wildcat, Libby in the Wildcat. Christensen nearest to us. Kenny in motion. Libby going to keep it. Short yardage.
Out across the.
Looks like Casale on the tackle.
31. Stop on the play to number 64, Parker Doyon. 2nd down and 7.
He's 2nd and 7, Thornton. 11:25, moving clock here. 4th period of action. Kenny, nearest to us. Tarbox, next one over. Libby in the slot, goes to Libby. They try to get Libby out in the flat, but misfired.
Incomplete.
3rd down, Trojans. Clock stopped at 11:12. Thornton taking plenty of time here. Christensen gonna pass across the middle and off the hands of Tarbox and almost into a Cheverus defender. It does fall to the turf.
Coverage on the play to number 14, Liam Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick on the defense.
7 for the Golden Trojans. Back deep to receive the punt. Number 14, Fitzpatrick.
Libby once again will be in punt formation.
DeStasio.
DeStasio Fitzpatrick deep for the Stags.
Trojans, number 16, Andrew Libby.
This time at least Libby has the wind at his back a little bit. Good snap. Libby sort of a line drive kick again. Let's see kind of a roll it takes. And now Cheverus gets away from it. And the ball was touched and Cody Lynn down there. 1st and 10 Cheverus from their own 37-yard line.
1st and 10 with 10:57 remaining in the game. next Saturday, November the 19th at Fitzpatrick Stadium. The Class A, Class B, and Class C state football champions will be decided. The game times are 11, 2, and 6 p.m.
Okay, let's see what Cheverus does offensively. See if they try to eat some clock. DeStagio flanked to this near side. Olsen going to hand off to the inside. Goodrich on the tackle. John Remus I see on the tackle. And Bobby Began at the bottom of the pile.
Number 53, Bobby Began. And number 33, John Remes. Second down and 6.
4-yard gain for Cheverus on that play. Second and 6 from their own 42-yard line. Stags leading 21-3. Fourth period. Inside handoff and chugging for some excellent yardage. Brent Green showing some strong legs. I think he might have a Cheverus first down.
That'll be a first down for the Stags. Stop on the plate at number 53.
Green only 5'9", 185 pounds, but keeps low to the ground. Very tough to tackle. Breeze picks up here. Olsen under center. That's Green right behind him. And Goodrich in the tailback has the jaw. And Bobby Began. Excellent penetration. Tarbox and Sear followed up, but initial contact. Bobby Began, who's had one heck of a year from that linebacking position. Thornton losing some key players this year, obviously, as most schools do, but a lot of players will be back next year for the Trojans, and then you're always looking for people to step up that have been underclassmen to take on some roles. Second and about 12. Hand off to Goodrich, and another excellent tackle. Let's see who that was.
Ball out to the just over the 46-yard line.
Dakota Tarbox very active today on the defensive side. He's a junior. Bobby Began a junior.
School community in the Cheverus neighborhood by disposing of all trash.
That's going to be third and about 12 for the Stags.
Please drive safely and prudently when leaving the Cheverus campus today. Thank you for supporting high school athletics.
Just went under 8.5 minutes, fourth period. Thornton will love to get their hands on the ball. Trying to hold Cheverus on this third and long. A counter play to Goodrich. Pretty well stopped that time. Connor McCrum on the tackle. Fourth down for Cheverus.
Stop on the play number 33, John Remes.
John Remus also getting credit for part of that tackle. Again, Connor McCrum with that big tackle against South Portland in the semifinals. With Kyle Forbes also assisting. Oh, he wouldn't be here today.
And number 24, Dylan.
Stop Joey Tobias inside the 1-yard line.
For the Stags, 24, Cam Olsen.
Olsen punts, high punt, fair catch Libby, and he makes the fair catch. So Thornton's ball. You don't want to get too reckless, but at this point they need a score. So if you have to go into your bag of tricks, go into your bag of tricks. 7:31 to go. Thornton has the ball deep in their own territory. I don't know what that would entail, a halfback pass, double reverse, or just send all receivers deep, but certainly need to get on the board. The toughest thing is the ball is at about the 16, their own 16-yard line, so maybe they want a little more yardage here. Nick Kenny with a short gain.
Stop on the play, number 36, Ryan Cassell.
Ryan Cassell gets another call on the tackle for Cheverus.
7 yards.
Second down and about 7 for Cheverus. For Thornton, going right to left on the screen. Christensen fakes a pass, and he has to run with it and tries to get back to the line of scrimmage.
With a broken play. Stopped at about the line of scrimmage.
So this will be 3rd and 7, TA.
Number 34, Coley Walsh.
TA coming in 9-1, Cheverus 10-0. Morton, and then Libby comes further to the near sidelines. Connor McCrum going to reset as the tight end on the left side. Christensen across the middle, complete by Libby. Libby, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Touchdown, Trojans. 81 yards. At one point, it looked like Cheverus may catch him, but in the end, Libby actually pulled away a little bit. Went from the 19, 81 yards, 6:06 to go.
Brandon Briggs on the point after attempt. Christensen.
And look for Thornton to do an onside kick. So Thornton fans getting excited.
Cody Lynn the snap.
Cody Lynn the snapper, Christensen the holder. Brandon Briggs looks good, is good.
With 6:06 remaining in the game, your score, Cheverus.
As they come back up the field. 6:06 to go in the fourth. Cheverus 21 and Thornton Academy 10. You're watching playoff football action on Thornton Academy television.
Sure. Brandon Briggs to kickoff.
All right, 6:06 to go. I don't know if you expect the onside kick or not. Cheverus has some hands people up front. And instead, line drive Briggs. And that's going to go into the end zone, so it'll be Cheverus 1st and 10 from their own 20.
To the 20-yard line.
Thornton still has a bunch of timeouts left. They may have to use them on defense. So I saw some people leaving the campus a few minutes ago, and they missed an 81-yard
For Cheverus came in 8th. Emily
pass from Eric Christensen across the middle to Andrew Libby, probably about 15, 18 yards downfield. And then Libby
cross-country team.
had daylight in front of him. Cheverus was gaining a little bit, but in the end, Libby kept them at bay as he went all the way for that touchdown. Let's see what Cheverus does in their play calling. Basic handoff to Green. Green going to be stacked up.
First in, number 85, Tarbox.
Tarbox on the tackle, Luke Libby as well.
And an assist to number 67, Luke Libby. Second down.
Gain of about 1 for Cheverus. 5:45 to go.
On the 21-yard line.
Olsen came all the way to the sidelines, usually does for the play. They have 25 seconds to snap it once the ball is marked. Tight formation for the Stags. Coming at you is Goodrich, and Goodrich is tackled immediately.
Scrimmage to the 21.
Luke Libby again in there. Luke Libby, one of those senior leaders, captain.
Luke Libby in on the tackle.
Very active today on the defensive line. 3rd and 9. Thornton would love to get their hands on the ball. We went under 5 minutes. Olsen in the spread. He wants to run it. Olsen has a little crease. He's going to be short of the first down as he went over the 25.
Taken down by number 85, Tarbox.
And I think Thornton called timeout.
Bring up a 4th down and a long 3.
I believe Thornton called a timeout. Thornton is keeping the regular defense in there. Now Olsen's back in punt formation,
Punting for the Stags.
but that's the regular Thornton defense in there.
Back deep for Thornton, number 16.
Libby is back deep, but the rest of the defenders are basically the regular defense. That kick's going to be high, not too deep, and up making the catch is Libby, and he goes out of bounds.
Fair catch was called by number 16, Andrew Libby.
Now the
Ball is gonna be on
the PA man's trying to referee. I don't know. He ran with it. And I guess they are going to call it a fair catch. I don't know if they were talked into it or what. Usually there's a penalty for running with a fair catch.
Thornton Academy Golden Trojans from their own 48-yard line.
All right, 4:21 on the clock. 1st and 10 Trojans from their own 48, trailing 21-10. As the sun starts to fade behind us. Christensen has got to get rid of it. He loses the ball, and it's still loose, and Cheverus may have it.
Cheverus will take over 1st and 10 from the Thornton Academy 42.
Recovered by Coley Walsh.
Number 30.
Looks like Thornton had it for a second, but in the end, Walsh came away with it.
Ball will be on the
And now look for Cheverus to go completely to the ground game. Try to eat up this last 4:15 to go. But I'm sure from everybody's viewpoint in Thornton, they wanted the Thornton to have a few to see if they could move down the field and make it interesting. If they could have moved it down in 2.5 minutes, they could have had an onside kick and maybe had one more possession. But as Don Meredith, the original Monday Night Football, said, if ands and butts were candy and nuts, every day would be Christmas. Pretty basic play stacked up by the entire front line of Thornton.
Number 85.
Take your pick.
Be a loss of 1 on the play.
Just hit 4 minutes to go. Again, I'd like to thank everybody who supported us during the year. Thornton Academy Television, Rob Munzing and Nate Munzing from Munzing Media on our live internet feeds. Jeff Christenberry, General Manager of Thornton Academy TV. Tyler Carteret, Carl Smith, all the Thornton Academy students behind the scenes. Our camera people, Jeff Scott, Randy Pulsiver, Greg Murray. We've enjoyed it and hope to do some basketball live as well, so stay tuned. Thanks to always to Ari Stevens, athletic director, and the athletic boosters as well. And breaking tackles is Goodrich. And he could have a first down. So a lot of pluses for Thornton this year. A new stadium turf, bleachers, scoreboard, and very successful year.
Ball marked just inside the 30-yard line. 1st and 10.
Gonna near the 3-minute mark. Cheverus in no hurry. First and 10, we had whistles here. And again, it appears now to be Thornton's last game. I'd like to recognize the seniors playing in their last game for Thornton. Some of them have played 4 years. Seniors Kyle Forbes, Cody Forbes, John Remus, co-captain, Aaron Scott, always busy on special teams, Chris Madden, Keith Parento, Riley Chamberlain, Aaron Flynn, co-captain Luke Libby, Cam Lee, Eben Durant, Tyler Danley, a co-captain, Mark Bosino, and Ryan Noble. Those are the seniors on the current program I have for Thornton.
30 33. Brent
Green, the ball carrier. I think Thornton going to call a timeout with 2:43 to go. Thornton got to call timeouts,
64 on the stop.
try to take the ball away. Need a turnover. And again, we always encourage people to go to the state games at Fitzpatrick. It's a triple header. Depending on when you're watching this, the games at Fitzpatrick will be Saturday the 19th. If you come in for the first game, you could stay with one ticket. You cannot leave the premises. You have to eat their stadium food, which isn't all that bad, actually. Maybe not as good as Thornton Academy. Thornton Academy's got some pretty good critiques this year for the food. As the Boosters do an outstanding job. Of course, bicentennial year winding down here, 2011. But if you're any kind of a football fan, you come in for 11 o'clock game, just stay the day at Fitzpatrick Stadium. If the weather's anything like today, it would certainly be a bonus. Cheverus leading 21-10, 2:43 to go. It's Goodrich trying to get to the outside. I think his speed sort of been the difference today a little bit. Goodrich, again, along with Green, filling in very ably for Spencer Cook. Another timeout for Thornton. Coach Kevin Kiesel is going to make Cheverus play right to the end here. That's the last timeout for TA.
3rd down and 7.
Thank you.
Breeze picking up here once again. Blowing in the face of Cheverus. And again, we hope to have that live feed during basketball. They said it worked for graduation, so hopefully it's still working as we follow the home games of the Thornton Academy boys and girls basketball teams. Right here, business at hand. 3rd down for Cheverus, 3rd and 7. As they try to eat more clock, that's Goodrich trying to get to the outside. He's got the speed, and he has the corner for a 1st down. He goes out of bounds, but Cheverus doesn't mind.
And that'll be another 1st down for the Stags. Run out of bounds by number 41, Josh Sear.
With 2:23 to go, Cheverus pretty much just has to run conservative plays. Josh Sear knocked Goodrich out of bounds on that far sideline. Again, excellent crowd here today. Might be a couple of thousand people. You really don't get the perspective since everybody's on this near side. Tight formation for Cheverus. Olsen going to hand up the middle to Green.
33, Brent Green.
Brent Green.
Down to inside the 11-yard line.
Inside the 11-yard line with 2:10 to go on a moving clock. Bobby Began, another tackle.
Assist to number 79, Mark Bochino.
Mark Bochino has come on as a senior. Been a real anchor in that defensive line.
We'll be presenting the Weston Class A plaques on the stadium.
Again, Cheverus in no hurry. Olsen calling signals. Inside handoff to Green again. Green moving the pile.
At about the 10-yard line.
Christian Descends beats 71,
First in, 53,
leading the way.
Bobby Began. Assist to number 63, Aaron Flynn.
And by the time this play is started, it will be under 1 minute. Cheverus going to defend their Western Maine title or try to defend the state title next week. Olson fakes, tries to go around the right side, and Thornton trying to keep him out of the end zone.
The 6-yard line where he stopped by number 50, Chris Madden.
Now this is going to be interesting. First and goal from the 6. See if Cheverus takes a knee or they try to run it in. Let's see what Cheverus does. (21-10), Cheverus, who trailed maybe for the first time this year. 25 seconds ago, this is the last play. And Olson does take a knee, so that's going to do it. Teams congratulating each other along the line of scrimmage, and they'll do it officially in just a couple of minutes at midfield. So it was a very good ball game. Both efforts shown by both teams. A couple of big plays for Cheverus were the difference in the end. Let's do the scoring. Only score in the first half was a 21-yard field goal by Brandon Briggs. It was 3-0 Thornton at the half. Third quarter scores for Cheverus: 5-yard run by Cam Olson, Louis DeStachio the point after. Also in the third period, a 54-yard run by Don Goodrich. DeStachio's kick again was good. Early in the fourth period, Cam Olson 25-yard touchdown pass to Louis DeStachio. The kick by DeStachio was good. And then a final touchdown by Thornton with 6:06 to go. A pass over the middle from Eric Christensen to Andrew Libby. Libby caught it and then ran away from the Cheverus defenders. 81 total yards. Brandon Briggs' kick made it 21-10. That's the way it finished. So Cheverus, Western Maine Class A champs, Thornton the runner-up. So that's the scoring summary. Again, I'm Jim Toomey, and we're going to send it down on the field to Jeff Christenberry. Again, thanks for the entire crew all season, and thanks for everybody for their support in the Thornton Academy community. So take it away on the field, Jeff Christenberry. This is Jim Toomey sending it down to Jeff.
All right, well, 21-10 is the final. Cheverus, as we talked about, it only takes a couple minutes for them to really have the wheels come off. And Thornton Academy put a good valiant effort in the end, but in the end, it was just not enough. Obviously, it looks like the game-changing play was the, we'll call it dodgy pass interference penalty. You have to check the tape, but from our angle, it was a second down and 9. It would have been a third and 9 at midfield. Cheverus went down and scored that first touchdown, and really after that, what are your thoughts here? Obviously, TA played very well, but the offense just really couldn't get it going.
I think that the defense did a tremendous job, especially in the first part of this game. They had some crucial 3rd and 1s, 4th and 1s. They put up good stands. Obviously, they created some turnovers. The defense seemed like they were really solid. And the score was a little bit deceiving because they did let up 21 points, but it was very quick. It was in a quick span of like 8 minutes in the third quarter. That's what happens with this Cheverus team. But really, the offense did stall in the second part of the game, and that was really the difference in this game, where they couldn't get a first down for several plays, and it really was a struggle, a constant struggle on offense. Especially, it seemed like Eric Christensen just kind of lost his balance, lost his confidence, and that really hurt that team. But overall, you got to give TA credit because they really stayed in this game right up until the end.
I think so. It's you can't put blame on any one person, any one play. Certainly, the fumble there by Eric when it was 21-10, really kind of put the nail in the coffin.
Yes.
Really, it was the inability of the offense to get any first downs. I think it took a quarter and a half to get any first downs.
Exactly.
You can't expect to win 3-0 against Cheverus with this high-powered offense. So, looking now, looking at next year, it's
only a couple days away, right?
They return almost this entire team.
Yes.
I think it has to change. I mean, they're going to try to, obviously, Andrew Libby will be back, Dakota will be back, Nick Kennedy will be back, Eric will be back. What do you think needs to be different? I mean, obviously they lose guys like Mark Wessenall.
Right.
Tough guy to lose on the offensive line, and Luke Libby as well.
Yes.
And Tyler Danley as well. So what do you think they need to do, next year in the offseason? What if you had to put an emphasis on one thing, what would it be?
Could I actually have two of them? Because I think there's two things. One, I think more from a coaching aspect is probably better play calls, especially in tight situations, because it seemed like they just, once in a while during the season, especially in today's game, you saw they just really faltered, and either the plays were too complex for Eric to pull off, or they were too easy to read for Cheverus, and they were very easy to cover, and it was very detrimental to Thornton Academy's offense. But secondly, I really think this team needs to work on its offensive rhythm, because you'll see a lot of times they'll go through a couple of quarters and they'll be really strong and they'll score touchdowns on a continuing basis, and then there's other times where they'll really falter, like in today's game, and they'll be touchdownless or scoreless for several quarters in a row, and that really hurts the team when you're playing in this Western Maine Class A final or any kind of big playoff game. So I think that's the biggest thing they have to change. Maybe little tweaks on defense here and there. Obviously, they're losing some big guys on the lines, offensive and defensive. But I think overall, with all these returning players, you know, you got Andrew Libby coming back and Nick Kenny, Josh Sear, all of these guys, Eric Christensen. I think they're going to be a very solid team next year.
Yeah, and certainly, you know, it's easy to put kind of a negative light on this game, but you know, coming in, this is an unbelievable Cheverus defense.
Oh, incredible!
Coming in today, I think in the last 8 weeks, they're getting up 22 points overall. You know, they shut out almost every opponent. Thornton's the first team to score more than 8 points against them since week 3.
Yes.
So that says a lot. You know, I think it's just, you know, we just like to, you know, obviously you want to see improvement. This team, Thornton Academy, you know, we looked at the schedule. You know, you were saying 5-3. You know,
exactly.
The difficulty and the youth. I mean, a lot of the young players stepped up. Bobby Began had a great season. I mean,
huge, yes.
Force next year. You know, really, when I look at for Thornton Academy, it's, you know, it's really kind of making sure they have an identity. I think at times offensively, when it came to crunch time, you know, they're not really a passing team.
Right,
they're not really a ground and pound team. They're a little bit of everything, which can be good. You have to mix up the looks, but
exactly.
in a time where you really need it, I mean, when you saw in the third quarter, they're throwing the ball almost every down. That's just not their bread and butter. You know, that's They're not built that way. So I really think a lot of positives to take them this year.
Yes.
Coach Kiesel and the rest of the coaches did a great job, and you know it's tough to lose like this. But you know they played. I believe it's the first time all year Cheverus had been trailing at the half. You know, but you look at the missed opportunity. That's what they'll look at.
Right.
You know, not being able to score that touchdown down here before halftime, that would have set a tone. The pass interference call, and then after they scored that second touchdown, it was pretty difficult to come back from that.
Yeah.
Well, as we pack up here, what are your final thoughts? This is your last game here. Next year you'll be off at college.
Yeah.
But what has it been like watching this team and being immersed in a team for an entire season?
Well, I have to say that really following them from week 1 to where they are right now, and obviously after this game, it's been an incredible journey really to see them grow and to see this team's identity really take shape over the course of 10 or 11 weeks. And I know that when we started this show, you know, we started very basic, and you know, in a lot of ways we're the same as the team. We started very basic, and as the season progressed, we added more elements to it. And I think that's the same for this team. They started pretty basic. You saw in that first game against Bonnie Eagle, I mean, Eric Christensen was running the ball for 4 yards on just about every play. And by the end of today's game, they had run, you know, lots of wildcat plays, lots of different offensive formations for passing. So I just think overall they really progressed as a team, and I think that they're going great places. I think next year they're going to really be a force to be reckoned with. And I just, you know, I have to say thank you to everybody who allowed me to be a part of this. Obviously, it's been a great opportunity, and I look forward to seeing how it develops in the years to come.
Definitely, I think, you know, looking forward, I think you know, it's tough to say so early, but I would be very surprised if Thornton Academy wasn't at least one of the top 2 favorite teams next year, just because of, you know, Andrew Libby is obviously one of the best players in the state already, and he'll be even better with the coming back. I think they'll get another year under their belt, another off season, and this team's going to be very, very tough to beat last year. Well, thanks.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you.
That's going to do it for Thornton Academy Sports Live. For Carl Smith, that couldn't be here today because of work. Tyler Catterett, I'm Jeff Christenberry. Thank you to all the people who have made this possible this year. Final score one more time: Thornton Academy season ends in the regional final, 21-10. See you later.